All right. So, shall we get started?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 So let's do quickly our prayer. It's a nice prayer जो हमने last time करी थी. Very fast. So you guys now please have to repeat after me. Okay. So the first line is Sehnav avatu.
Shahnav Avtu.
Avatu.
Sehnau bhunaktu.
Sehnau Bhanatu.
Bhunaktu.
Seh viryam karvavahi.
Sahaviryam Karvavi.
Tejasvi nav dhitamastu.
Tejasvi Nav Vastu.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Ma Vidvishavai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om
Shanti,
Shanti
Shanti,
Shanti Shanti.
Okay. So let's get to the Gita today. Okay. I'm going to pull it up on my screen. Tell me if you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You can make it, you know how to make it bigger in your phones if you want to. By pinching your phone screen.
No, but it's not becoming big on the laptop.
Oh, in the laptop you can't do that. Yeah. Laptop you could just have to, I don't know how to make it bigger for the laptop.
You can, on the top right on Zoom, there's a view. And if you click on the view and go to the bottom, it says full screen. You can do full screen.
ठीक है, चलो.
Okay. Otherwise you just hear along.
Yeah.
You know, in the past, पुराने ज़माने में सारी बोल के ही होती थी, कोई लिखा हुआ नहीं होता था. That's why it's called Shruti. So, okay. So, so far what we did was we did the first few verses of chapter 2, first half, you could say, roughly. And then, which was basically about Gyan Yoga. There's one part of Gyan Yoga which we didn't cover, which was about the manifestation of the world and, pralay of the world. We thought we'll come back to that at the end. And then we moved to Karma Yoga. And then the last couple of sessions, we talked about Karma Yoga, overview of Karma Yoga. So you guys now, I think, have a good idea of what Karma Yoga is. So it'll be easier to, when we go through these verses, so we'll actually go through what Krishna Bhagavan actually said to Arjun on this topic. Okay, so we start with the 39th verse, 2.39.
Okay.
And I'm going to read to you guys in English. And then whatever there are some good words, important words in Sanskrit that I'll tell you about. So the first thing Krishna Bhagavan told Arjun is that the wisdom with reference to self-knowledge, that's what we talked about earlier, has so far been told to you. Now, Partha, listen also to the wisdom of yoga. And by yoga, he means Karma Yoga here. Endowed with which you will get rid of the bondage of action. Meaning, in other words, endowed with which your actions will stop binding you. It will help you get to moksha. So he called it here. He says Esha te abhihita sankhye. So I've highlighted it here. He called it sankhya. By sankhya he means knowledge. And then he said Esha to abhihita sankhye buddhi. About the knowledge I've told you. Now about yoga tvimam shrinu. You listen to about this about. Listen to me when I tell you about yoga. And buddhaya yukto, endowed with this knowledge, karam bandham prahasyasi. Karam bandh jo hai wo, you'll get rid of them. Okay? And let's continue. And we'll have time for any questions and so on. Then he says, in this, there is no wasted effort, nor are the opposite results produced. Even very little of this Karma Yoga protects one from great fear. So, to get to the Sanskrit here, he says, no wasted effort. So he says, Swalpam api asya, this line. This means very, very little effort.
I will listen to the recording.
Of Karma Yoga will give you great results. And then he says, Neha abhikrama nasho nasti, asti. That means in this there is no wasted effort. Pratyavayo na vidyate, that means the opposite results are not produced. So what does he mean by that?
You're making tea for mommy?
So he says that
Yes.
when
Oh,
Didi, you can mute it if you want to. Just mute your cell phone and then you can chat. Yeah. So there's no wasted effort. Means what he's trying to say is that even if you do a little bit of Karma Yoga and then stop, it doesn't mean your effort is wasted, because most of the work that we do in our life, we have to either see it through or it gets wasted. So if we start doing something and we don't see it through, then it doesn't really benefit us. But not Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga, even if you do a little bit, it'll give you that little bit benefit right away. It's not like you have to go to the end and only then you will get the benefit. You get the benefit of Karma Yoga along the way. And he also says very little of it is needed. And he's saying very little of it is needed because by the time you even get to start the Karma Yoga, even the little bit, you've done a lot of work underneath on yourself. So Karma Yoga is like a upar ki manifestation of a lot of work inside you which has happened through lifetimes. Because you have looked at life, you have assessed life, you have seen what is giving you happiness, what is not giving you happiness. You've kind of figured out a lot of things about life and about yourself before you get on this path. So that's why even if you do a little bit, very little is needed. All that is right because you've already done a lot of work. The other thing he says here, which is very important, is that there are no opposite results produced. So opposite results is also important because sometimes we have a fear that, if I start doing Karma Yoga, I'll lose my edge, because we built our edge in this world with, we are always alert. We've built our edge. We've protected ourselves. We've taken care of ourselves. So we feel like I need to protect my possessions, my people, myself, everything, I need to be on top of it. And there is this world and I need to be alert with respect to this world. So if I start doing Karma Yoga, I will lose my edge because my brain will, suddenly I'll become soft and mushy and, I'll start losing out on the material things of life or, relationships of life. But actually that is not so. What he's saying is that if anything, there will be a gain in those things too. You'll start being more successful. So there is no opposite result of Karma Yoga. Even the material things will start becoming better. And this is really, I found it good to know this, good to hear it from Krishna Bhagwan, because this is, even for me, when I kind of start thinking about it, this is an important thing. I don't want to kind of be like halfway there and halfway here and nothing is working, So that's not going to happen, is what he says it right up front.
Nitu, before you go to the third one,
right?
What does that mean? In the first shloka, you will get rid of the bondage of action.
Right. So I purposely didn't get into that because that would be a lot.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that, but I will tell you briefly.
That's fine.
No,
we can get to it later.
Let me tell you since you asked. So what he's saying is that what is the cause of our bondage? The cause of our bondage is our attraction to the objects and things in this world. And how do we get those results, those attraction, is through karmas. So karmas actually are the reason for our bondage. We want something, we do karma, some actions. Those actions produce results. That causes more desire. And then we do more actions to achieve those desires. That produces a better result or another result. Then that causes a bigger desire. So what happens is, the Vedantic way of looking at it is that the cause for bondage of all of us is our actions. We indiscriminately do actions. In other words, we act wanting something material, wanting some pleasure, wanting to get rid of pain. That is why we act. So a lot of that action is coming out of ignorance, thinking that these things are going to give us joy in the end. So all our desires prompt us to action. Action prompt us to results. Results prompt us to more desire. This is the bondage of samsara.
Okay, got it.
right? So that is, but the same karmas now, he's saying, you do the same karmas, but if you do it with the right attitude, instead of binding you, they will release you.
Mm.
It's the same karmas, not any different karma.
Mm.
So if you do the karma saying, I'm doing it because I want a particular benefit or a result, and that benefit or result is going to give me happiness, you're just pursuing your desires recklessly, binding. You
Mm.
do the same karmas with full knowledge that my happiness comes from me. What I'm doing this karma is because I have to do karma. It's my nature. And through this karma, I want to exhaust my karma. I mean, I want to do this karma and get antakarna shuddhi. That's my objective. That's what Karma Yoga is. Those karmas will start releasing you. Because you can't avoid it. We
Mm.
can't avoid doing karmas. We
Mm.
can't sit down and say, Humne kuch nahi karna, because
Mm.
this is going to just give me bondage. That doesn't happen. And he'll explain this in a future verse. So we'll go into more depth then.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Then he's saying the third one. Now he's coming to his key messages about Karma Yoga. He's saying, with reference to this, this moksha or this liberation, Kuranandana, which is another name for Arjun, there is a single, well ascertained understanding. The notions of those who lack discrimination are many branched and innumerable indeed. So, this is a very important verse in explaining what he means by Karma Yoga. So, what he's saying, there are two words here he is using. One is this one, which I've highlighted here. It's called Vyavasai Atmika Buddhi. Vyavasai Atmika Buddhi. And the other one is Ekah Buddhi. इसके अंदर है या संधि में है. It says व्यवसाय आत्मिका बुद्धिर एकेह कुरुनंदना. So he's saying जो हमारी बुद्धि होनी चाहिए, that should be eka buddhi, and it should be व्यवसाय आत्मिका बुद्धि. Eka buddhi means you have one major objective in life. So a successful person, including a successful Karam Yogi has one big objective in life. You don't have multiple objectives in life. And sorry.
That's fine.
Hi Vidur. I think Vidur has just joined.
Okay, great.
Okay. So you'll have one objective in life. And your buddhi will also be at the same time Vyavasaya Atmika. Vyavasaya Atmika buddhi means an organized brain which can prioritize properly. So, and I'll share this with an example. Okay. Now think about a politician, a successful politician. When you look on the outside, a politician's life is multifaceted. One day he's going to go working with union people and saying, let's get you benefits, let's open a new plant, steel plant, ye wo karta rahega. Another day he will go to a school, children's school, and talk to teachers over there. Another day he will start a new project. He'll say, I want to start a roadways project, correct? And yet another time he'll be talking to donors, big businessmen, like uh, let's talk about what your needs are and how you can help us help the cause and so on. So there is a lot the person is doing, but there is only one eka buddhi as far as that person is concerned. He wants to win the next election. Everything that he is doing is guided by his central objective that I want to win the next election. Maybe he wants to be a prime minister, maybe he wants to be a governor, whatever he wants to be. But you can see he'll do a lot of things, but they're all supporting one objective. And then Vyavasayatmika means what? How does he decide what I should do and what I should not do? Like, why is it that he will go to schools in his district and help the kids and not schools in another district? Because he's going to get his votes from this district, right? So Vyavasayatmika Buddhi means the person is able to prioritize what is really important and what is not important in meeting his one Eka Buddhi. So there's nothing magical about it. This is basic common sense management, but we forget these things. So Krishna Bhagwan is saying that a Karam Yogi will have Eka Buddhi and Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi. But a person who's not a Karam Yogi will have Bahushakha Buddhi. This is the word here. Bahushakha. Shakha means a branch. Bahushakha means many branches. He'll have a many branched buddhi. He'll do here something, he'll do here for a little bit, then he'll go there, do something else, then he'll go something else. आज मैं meditation करता हूँ, कल मैं कुछ और करता हूँ, परसों मैं किताब लिखता हूँ, then I do some work, then I give up that work, do something else. I mean, there's no organizing principle in his life. He's like helter-skelter all over the place. There's no way to prioritize what is important, what is not important, what should I do, what should I not do. So that's the difference between a Karma Yogi and a person who's not a Karma Yogi. Now, I have to say also that not everybody who has Vyavasayatmika Buddhi and who has Eka Buddhi is a Karma Yogi. Because, even like any successful person, you can see any successful person will have Eka Buddhi and Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. It's very difficult to become successful without these things. But for a Karma Yogi, the Eka Buddhi, his main objective is not just winning votes. His main objective is self-knowledge or peace of mind. क्या कहते हैं अंतःकरण शुद्धि. Those are his object. Antakarna Shuddhi on route to self-knowledge. When that becomes your Eka Buddhi, right? Then you become a Karma Yogi. So, like I said before, you won't do anything different, but you would do a little bit different when you become a Karma Yogi. You will prioritize differently. What you have to do, you'll prioritize differently. The importance you'll play on it, your attitude to those things will become different. Because it all depends on what your Eka Buddhi, what your objective is. So that's what he's trying to say here. But the beauty of Gita, beauty of this one here is that even if you're not a Karma Yogi, let's say you're just a samsari, even then, this is a very important lesson or very important guideline for you to be successful in anything. Okay? And he'll keep coming back to this later on also because this is his main thing. He'll come back, he'll say, if you have a single-minded objective, a single-minded dedication, everything becomes easy. Even mental discipline becomes easy because you know why you're doing it. If Antakarna Shuddhi is so important to you, you know that's what you want, mental discipline will happen. It'll be easy. If you don't know exactly why am I disciplining myself, that clarity is not there, then the discipline becomes very difficult. Because the business case is not there. The case for doing it is not there. Okay. Anything on question on this or we move ahead? Okay, I'll just keep going. Sorry, go ahead, Tony Bhaiya.
Good. No, it's good.
Okay, then we go to the next one. Now he's going deeper into this. He's saying, Partha, the non-discriminating people, that is avipashchita, pravadanti avipashchita. So these guys, avipashchitas, these people who remain engrossed in karam kanda, in karmas enjoined by the Veda and its results. That's a karam kanda. Who remain engrossed in karam kanda. That means these guys, Vedavadarataha. Vedavadarataha are the people who are non-discriminating and they are enjoined and they are completely engrossed in Ved, early part of Ved, who argue that there is nothing other than this. That means, na anyad asti iti vadinaha. Na anyat asti iti vadinaha means, इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं है ऐसा आर्ग्यू करना. मैं आपको बताऊंगा सारे. I'll explain these. Who are full of desires with heaven as their highest goal. What is that? That is Swarga Paraha. ये next line में चला गया. This is a combined translation of 42 and 43. So here we got this name now, Swarga Paraha. Swarga Paraha are people who think there's nothing bigger than heaven. They want heaven. So what are these people before I go on? So he's talking about now people who are not completely blind, but they don't see clearly. That's why he calls them avipashchitaha. Vipashchitaha means those who see clearly. Pashya होता है, पश्यन का मतलब देखना. So vipashchitaha is someone those who see clearly. Avipashchitaha are people who don't see very clearly. So they see in a hazy fashion. So what does it mean? That means they don't say कि वेद कुछ नहीं है, ये कुछ नहीं, ईश्वर कुछ नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं कहते. But they are only seeing the Vedas at the surface level. वो सिर्फ कर्म कांड देखते हैं. उनके लिए वेद क्या है? Because वेद में actually there are two parts of the Ved, the Karam Kand and the Gyan Kand. The Karam Kand of the Ved is all about mantras and pujas and rituals. Now, there's always a reason for doing these pujas and rituals. And the reason is because you want something. That's why you do a puja. Somebody is sick. I want that person to get better. I do a puja. I don't have children. I want children. There's a puja prescribed there. You do the puja. I'm going to start a new business. I want it to go auspiciously. Do a puja. यहाँ पे तो अमेरिका में तो they buy a car and take it. I mean, India maybe. You buy a new car. You want it to, not have accidents. You take it to the mandir and do puja. Every time we do a puja, there is an objective behind it. And it's a material objective. Something we want. इसलिए हम पूजा कर रहे हैं. So these people are not completely adharmic. But उनको वेद का क्या लगता है? वेद is a means for getting something material in my life. शादी अच्छी ठीक तरह से हो जानी चाहिए, डिवोर्स नहीं होना चाहिए कपल का, तो पूजा करा दी शादी के साथ. Right? So that is what it means. That means they are dharmic, but they are limited in their knowledge. They still believe that it's these pleasures, these things which are going to give me pleasure, my joy. So he's actually dissing these guys. He's saying, ये जो लोग हैं, जो वेद को सिर्फ ऐसा ही देखते हैं, they have people of limited knowledge. ठीक है? These people are स्वर्ग पराहा. That means for these people, their goal is, highest goal is स्वर्ग पहुंच जाएंगे. तो अगले जन्म में I should get स्वर्ग. That is my biggest goal. So now, again, it's a better goal than to say, I want to, just enjoy and pleasures of this life today and just do indiscriminate bad things. उससे तो अच्छा है. लेकिन it is still limited. And then he says, na anya dasti vadina. That means they don't believe anything that you can't see, which is not, not evident. They say that doesn't exist. Which means, in other words, they're saying Brahman doesn't exist. Na asti. If you tell them you have a self, वो कहते हैं मैं क्या, what do you mean self? I can't see myself. मुझे नहीं पता. Myself is just this body. If what I can't see, I don't believe. खत्म. So those people are na anyad asti. Na anyad means anything else. Anything else other than what you can see, asti, exists. They make this argument. Vadina is people who speak like this, who think like this. So na anyad asti vadina, these people. So he's saying all these people, what do? Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti. That means these people speak flowery, great language. They say sweet words. They say big words. They'll tell you, ये पंडित होते हैं ना हमारे जैसे, कितने सारे पंडित होते हैं, बड़ी बड़ी अच्छी अच्छी बातें करते हैं, मीठी मीठी बातें करते हैं. They'll tell you how you do this, it will benefit you. ये करोगे तुम्हारे लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा. They will talk about gods. They will talk about other lives. They will talk about all these things. He's saying, ये जो लोग हैं, ये ऐसी ऐसी बातें करते हैं. But काम आत्मना जन्म फल कर्म. So for them, I mean, I'm just going to explain this to you. All this means is that for them, they are after bhog aishwarya. ये है भोग ऐश्वर्य गतिम. भोग ऐश्वर्य गतिम means, bhog means consumption. Getting something nice. अच्छा अच्छा खाना खाओ, अच्छा अच्छा pleasures करो. Aishwarya means power. That's why Ishwar is called Ishwar, because he's all powerful. So Aishwarya means power. So these guys are after power and bhog. He's saying in the next line now, he's saying, don't listen to these people. Okay. So in the next one, so let me just continue here. Sorry, I'm just going round and round.
So into that, that means that even at that time, they were already pandits and other people who did these things before this thing happened.
More than they are now. They were very powerful at that time. They were very part of the society. Right?
Wow.
अब तो थोड़े कम हो गए हैं. Hardly people listen to them. उस समय तो they were ruling the roost.
Yeah.
This whole Acharya class was ruling the roost. Everything you did, you had to go to a pandit. Now people have become more educated. But the beauty, what is most interesting to me is that Bhagwan Krishna, even at that time in the Gita, which is our sacred scripture, in that he says, don't go after these things.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled by these pandits who are giving you rituals and telling you ritual करे ये करोगे तो अच्छा हो जाएगा वो करोगे बुरा हो जाएगा. Use your brain. That's what he's trying to tell you. So utter these, let me complete. These people utter these flowery words that talk of many special rituals meant for the attainment of pleasures and power and of results in the form of better births. So they talk about these things in a beautiful language. Don't get fooled by them.
It's amazing to me that this is written in Gita and we still follow it.
Gita, in black and white.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that this is written in Gita.
Yeah, this is
You can,
amazing.
that's why I want to show you the Sanskrit, because I wish you could understand Sanskrit, because this is not, don't worry about the translation, it was Swamiji ne kari hai. And Swamiji, of course, knows what he's saying. But this is actually here. Yam imam pushpitam vacham. That means this kind of pushpitam means push kya hota hai? Pushp hota hai phool. Pushp hota hai phool. So flowery. Pushpitam. Vacham kya hota hai? Vacham means speech.
Speech, yeah.
So this pravadanti means vada. Vad means to speak. Pravadanti means to speak well, to speak a lot. Avipashchita. So this is basically he's saying these avipashchitahas, they speak yamimam pushpitam vacham. They speak this language. They are ved vad rataha. They are people who are just engrossed in the Vedas. Now I would have thought if you're engrossed in the Vedas, that's a good thing. But he's saying no. No, it's not a good thing. To be engrossed in the front end of the Vedas, which is in the Karam Kand, where all you're doing is rituals and rituals and
By
rituals.
Vedas, you mean spiritual books?
No. He means the Vedas, the 4 Vedas.
The 4 Vedas, okay.
Yeah. Right? He even says Swarg Para. If you think that Swarg is your goal in life, right? You're limited. He's not dissing them exactly. He's not saying that they are ignorant, they are foolish. He's saying they are avipashchitaha. That means they are not seeing clearly enough. They're seeing, but they're not seeing to the end. They are not understanding what is the real purpose of the Vedas. The real purpose of the Vedas is not to give you more better life right now. That's for the early people, who don't know any better. But he's telling Arjun, because Arjun said, I want to get rid of sorrow. So now he's saying you have to go beyond this. You have to go to the real purpose of the Vedas. The real purpose of the Vedas is to give you self-knowledge, to tell you where your happiness lies. Your happiness lies in yourself, not in all these things around you. So that's because he's talking to, now if he was talking to someone who really, is just kind of a young fellow, zyada kuch hua hai nahi, not ready to listen to the bigger truth, then to them, he will probably say, okay, go after the Ved. But he's talking to a person who's ready and wants to listen to the bigger, higher truth, who's lived his life. He's a king. He's seen everything. He's seen the pleasures. He's seen the pain. He's gone to exile. He's come back. A person who's ready and who's saying now, Krishna Bhagwan, help me. I am lost. I know I'm the most accomplished guy in this kingdom, and I am lost. So that person is now ready for the higher truth. That's why this is the truth that is being given to him. And if you are ready for the higher truth, then this is the truth for you also, and for me also in the Gita.
So the Vedas precede Krishna?
Oh yeah. Well, see, Veda precede Mahabharata. Now Krishna says that he has many incarnations. So Krishna it's not Krishna, it's Vishnu. So Vishnu's incarnation is Krishna in the Mahabharata, but Vishnu has many other incarnations before. So Ishwar precedes everything. Vishnu precedes everything, but in the incarnation of Krishna, the Vedas precede that.
So who is Ram?
Ram is
Incarnation.
Vishnu. Also
Ram is
Vishnu.
also incarnation of Vishnu.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, before Krishna.
Before Krishna.
Okay.
So that is how it works. Actually, one time, kabhi baad mein, we should talk about the Vedas, because we need to understand what the Vedas are and they say and how they work and all those, the Shruti part, to really get the full meaning of this. But I think you got the gist of what he's trying to say. So then he says, 244, for those who pursue pleasure and pain exclusively, whose minds are robbed away by these flowery words, which are told by the people जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, well, a certain understanding does not take place in their mind. So he says, if you're getting robbed away by those flowery words, जो पीछे बजा रहा था, flowery words of the people who are Ved Vadrataha and all of that, of these pandits, then well ascertained understanding will not take place in your mind. And you can see how can it take place in your mind. If you don't know, तुमको कुछ पता ही नहीं है, you are dependent on, you are thinking कि मेरी happiness depends on this ritual. तो एक रिचुअल करोगे, फिर आपको दूसरी हैप्पीनेस चाहिए, एक और रिचुअल करोगे, तो हम रिचुअल ही करते रहोगे. एक पंडित कुछ कहेगा, वो बात सुनोगे, दूसरा उसके वो काम नहीं हुआ तो दूसरे के पास जाती हूँ, मैं दूसरे गुरु के पास जाती हूँ, दूसरे गुरु के पास जाओगे, यू आर बेसिकली लॉस्ट. So how can you have a well ascertained understanding in your mind if you don't really understand what am I after and what is the way to get there? You'll just be, it's like a lot of consultants, you know, they're coming into a client and one is saying this and one is saying that, and you have no vision of your own, you have no objective of your own. You're thinking that the consultant will run your business for you. Not going to happen, you know. You're going to go down in the dumps. So this is very practical advice from Sri Krishna Bhagavan.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on. Then he says, he continues to diss the Vedas. Okay. He says the subject matter of the Vedas is related to the three variable qualities. You know, the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Arjun, be the one who, if free from the holds of these three qualities, which is from the sorrow of the pair of opposites, the one who is ever established in sattva guna, who's free from the anxieties of acquiring and protecting, and who is a master of oneself. Be that. So he's saying, get yourself away from all of these and become a master of yourself. Right? Now, what is it? He says, Traya Guna Vishya. Traya Guna Vishya means, Traya means three. So the Vishya of the Veda, so it says Traya Guna Vishya Veda. That means जो वेदा के जो गुण हैं वो उसके विषय क्या है, वेदा का टॉपिक क्या है, is all about these three gunas. Is another way of saying its topic is all about the maya, about the materials in this world. That's what Veda is about. Veda के जो earlier part है, Karma Kanda, it will talk to you about this world, how to live in this world or what to do in this world. So that's those kind of things. Nistray Guna Bhavarjuna. That means become Nistray Guna. That means cross over these gunas, cross over this maya. Go above them. Nirdvandva. Nirdvandva means not being caught in the pair of opposites. So this is another important concept in Hinduism, in our culture, which is about dvandva. They say that nothing comes in single, everything comes in pairs. Everything comes in pairs. Life comes with death. You can't have just life, no death. Death comes with life too. You can't have just death and no life after that. Happiness comes with sorrow. You can never have just happiness and no sorrow. Night comes with day. Dark comes with light. So think about everything as a pair of opposites. Everything in this world is a pair of opposites. Love comes with hate. You love one person, you'll hate. If you're exclusively loving one person, you'll be other person, you'll be exclusively hating. Right? This is how this world works. It's a pair of opposites. We think that we can get away by just going for the good and not having the bad. We just do love, love, love. Success, 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 no failure. You know, light, 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 no dark. Health, 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 no sickness. Doesn't work like that. You will always have, we are caught in this duality. We are caught thinking somehow we will be able to get the good part and do away with the bad part. So he's saying, no, aisa nahi hai. You have to cross over both. You have to cross over both pleasure and pain if you want to have self-satisfaction or self-knowledge. You can't say मेरे को अच्छा अच्छा तो ठीक है, you know, भगवान अच्छी अच्छी बातें ठीक हैं, बुरी बातों से दूर रखो, right? मैं दुनियादारी करना चाहता हूँ, दुनिया में रहना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन मेरे को दुनिया के सारे सुख दे दो, दुनिया का दुख मत दो. He's saying that doesn't work. You know, if you want to live in the world, you will have to face both sukh and dukh. And if you want to face them properly, that means you have to not be shattered by the dukh and totally mad with the sukh. Then you have to cross both of them. You have to have samanvay towards both. You have to be able to deal with both equally. So that's called being nirdvandva. Then he says nitya sattva sthaha. That means nitya means always. Sattva sthaha. Sthaha means to be. Sthit hona. किसी चीज में स्थित होना. So nitya sattva sthaha means stay always in sattva. The sattva guna of the sattva, rajas and tamas is the guna of knowledge. It's the guna of contentment, guna of peace. Um, just you can see a sattvic person. आपको पता चल जाएगा कि ये आदमी बहुत सात्विक है. Someone who's calm, who's relaxed, who's that's a sattvic person. So stay that. Then nir-yoga kshema. So yoga or shema is also very very interesting concept in the Gita. ये बाद में भी आता है. So this in this duality thing, yoga shame means in this yoga has many meanings. Okay, don't get confused. Yoga has like multiple meanings. So here yoga means a desire for something. You want to have something. That's yoga. And what happens is when you get that something which you have a desire for, then you get shema. Shema means protecting that thing. So we want money. I have too little money. I want more money. I want a bigger portfolio. Then you suddenly have a bigger portfolio. Now you're anxious. Oh my God, I don't want to lose this money. What can I best do to invest it? How can I, what can I do with it? How do I make sure that it's not stolen away? How do I make sure कल को कुछ depreciation हो गया सब कुछ और मेरा पैसा valueless हो गया? Then you get into shema. So yoga and shema are the two aspects of samsaric life. Either we are wanting something, or when we get it, we are trying to protect it. We want grandchildren, but then we also want the grandchildren to be healthy and to be completely safe and to be, grow up properly. So then we get into the Shema part. So he's saying be beyond both yoga and Shema. Just
What
like
is Shema? Sorry, can you explain what is Shema?
Shema means that having got something
Yeah.
that you really wanted, now you want to protect it. So first of all, you're anxious because you never got something. Then you're anxious because you're afraid of losing the thing you got. Either way, there's anxiety.
But we should protect what we got.
We should, of course. Yes, that's true. He's not saying that you should not protect what you got. He's saying, how do I get around this anxiety of yoga and shema?
Okay, got it.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you be in a situation where you can say, I've got this, God has given it to me. And God will take care of it. And you enjoy the thing that you have. Knowing that, you are not really doing anything for it, really. It's God who's taking care of it. But we know it intellectually, but it's hard to kind of do it.
Yeah.
That's what he means.
Got it.
And then he says Atmavan. Atmavan means someone who's a master of himself. So he's basically trying to say it's back to the same thing. Be a master of yourself. Decide for yourself what is your number one objective, your ekabuddhi, your objective. Prioritize your life around that. Vyavasayatmika buddhi, right? Don't listen to Vedvadratas, to people who are just saying flowery things and taking you all over the place. And you won't, because you have your mind clear of what you want to do, what is your objective, how you're going to get there. All that is clear. And be a master of it. And you'll see through this process, you will also become nir-yoga kshema, you will also become nir-dvandva, and you will also be nitya sattva sthaha. All this will happen, all this will come. This is part of Karma Yoga. So in this whole thing, he's emphasized that part of Karma Yoga, which is having one single-minded objective. And he's saying that single-minded objective should be, if you're a Karma Yogi, it should be Antakarma Shuddhi, as a prelude to self-knowledge. So this is his so far. So this next one again, he's again dissing. Now this is in case you had any doubts. He's telling you, for the Brahmana means someone who knows the self, someone who's knowledgeable. All the Vedas are of only so much use as a small reservoir is when there is flood everywhere. He's saying,
Wow.
कुआं है. When there is no flood, कुआं is very useful. You need water from the कुआं. So तुम्हारे लिए कुआं बड़ा valuable है. But अगर बाढ़ आ जाए, everything is submerged, कुआं is also submerged, then what use is the कुआं? You don't use the kuan anymore. So for a person who's a samsari, who doesn't know much, who's just kind of little ignorant, Vedas are very useful. Because Vedas will tell him, ye karo, ye mat karo, aisa mat karo, ye theek hai, ye galat hai. But for a person who's a Gyani, who's now a Karma Yogi, who's thinking, who wants to go higher, Vedas are of no use. because he has his own mind. He knows what he wants. He has a vyavasayatmika buddhi. Then Vedas, he says, the Vedas are only as much used as a small reservoir when there is flood everywhere. So just in case you were doubting कि Krishna Bhagavan क्या कह रहे हैं, he's made it abundantly clear now. Okay, so this is his first part of his teaching of Karma Yoga, right?
So that means what he's saying is basically if you have self-knowledge and self-awareness, then you don't need to worry about anything, not even the Vedas.
Absolutely. In fact, Vedas will lead you astray, is what he's saying.
Really? Why?
The front
Why will
part of
Vedas?
the Vedas. The front part of the Vedas, the Karam Kandas. He said, na here. See?
Yeah.
He said
Karam
here,
Kanda.
these guys, the non-discriminating people, blah, 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 itna sara karke. Then for those who pursue pleasure and pain exclusively, whose minds are robbed away by these flowery words, well, a certain understanding does not take place. They can lead you astray.
Yeah, but what
You'll
I
be,
think,
Vedas क्या कहते हैं? Vedas are promising you something. They're saying, तुम ये पूजा करो तो मैं तुमको ये दे दूंगा.
yeah.
तुम ये पूजा करो मैं तुमको बच्चे ठीक कर दूंगा. मैं तुम ये करो ये करो. You're caught up in that rut.
Is that that is the Vedas or that is the pujaris saying all that?
No, pujaris क्या से बोला? अपने थोड़े ना उन्होंने कुछ. Pujaris are getting all their knowledge from the Vedas. So Vedas, I have to clarify this because otherwise we'll all go away with the wrong impression. Vedas are very complex, very fantastic things. Vedas follow a person's evolution. So the beginning part of the Veda, there are 4 parts of the Veda actually. The first part is called Samhita. In the Samhita, there are mantras. So when you are young, when you are a householder, just kind of, starting up in life, Samhitas are very important for that. And in the olden times, because tab tumhara kya, what is your eka buddhi? What is your objective? What do you want to do? Your objective is to build this family. Take care of your wife and husband, bring up children well, build some wealth, sustain a family. That is your objective. For that, the samhitas and the mantras are absolutely vital from in the olden times, right? That's what the Vedas talk to you about. How do you do things well so that you can build a family, so that you can get started in life, you can get the material things in life in a dharmic way, not in a bad way. That's the samhitas. Then you have the brahmanas. Now, brahmanas are a little older. Brahmanas describe not just the mantras, they actually describe how the mantras should be done. How should you set up the pyre? What kind of fire should be there in the mantra? What color of the fire? How big should be the brick enclosure in which the fire is there? What should you put in the havan? मेरे को याद है समीर की शादी हुई थी तो we arranged all the Mita, you went and bought all kinds of samagri. Now who decides what samagri you should be buying for the wedding?
Yeah,
yeah. That's right. So otherwise every pandit will give you a new list, different list.
Yeah.
Right? But there is one list which comes from the Vedas, right?
Yeah.
So that's all part of the Samhita and the Brahmana. That's the initial part.
Yeah.
Then you have what's called the Aranyakas. Now, Aranyakas, now suddenly the subject of the Vedas moves from all these rituals and all to meditation. Now the Vedas and the Aranyakas are talking about meditation. So this is for the person who has finished his grihasth and is now going into the forest, Vanaprastha. 50 साल से ज़्यादा हो गए हैं. मैंने अपना बना लिया, कर लिया, मेरे बच्चे बड़े हो गए हैं. My business has been handed over to the kids. They are now ruling the household. They are managing pretty well. I'm old. What is my role now? I'm done with this. I'm going into the forest and I want to meditate. I want to try and now find out more meaning. I've realized this up and down. This is not enough for me. I've made my wealth. I need more meaning. So, Aranyakas. In Aranyakas, they give you a lot of meditation. The purpose of meditation is to calm your mind. Is to bring ability to focus. You can focus more. You can understand more. All that happens with meditation. You have control.
They should reset that age limit. 50 is too young. Make it 80.
You can make whatever you want. No problem. Its age is all in the number is in the mind. Okay. You don't even need to do it. If you're happy, that is, by the way, the biggest message of Hinduism is do what makes you happy. That is the central cardinal. If you don't do that, nothing will be achieved. if you force yourself to go to the forest because, Meeta is saying, oh, Rupa is going to the forest, मैं भी जाती हूँ forest. नहीं तो मैं पीछे रह जाऊंगी. Right? Then you will never get anything. Okay. So, and if you always do what you want to do, then you will automatically mature and you'll realize that you're beginning to do things. You'll say, मैं तो forest जाना नहीं जाती थी, but you'll find yourself in the forest. You make your whole house as the forest. Okay, so that's the Aranyakas. And then you have the final part of the Vedas, which is the Upanishads. Upanishad is for a person who's done all the meditation, is now ready, has calm mind, is willing to listen, and now he says, I want self-knowledge because that's my answer. Then Upanishads give you that.
Nittu, are
हम
Aranyakas
थोड़ा
then,
जल्दी
sorry,
बोले.
are Aranyakas and part of Karma Yoga?
Well,
I mean, should they be considered part of Karma Yoga
so it
then?
depends. Some people consider the Aranyakas as part of Karma Yoga. Some people consider them as part of Gyana Yoga. They're basically a transitional phase between the Karma Yoga and the Gyana Yoga. You don't go from Karma Yoga directly to Gyana Yoga. You can't just one fine morning decide, okay, I'm done. Now I'm like, and now I just want to do Gyana Yoga. You go through a period of transition where you move away from the samsaric stuff and you start contemplating more and more on yourself. And that transition period is kind of associated with the Aranyakas.
But Nitu, I also have one question.
Huh.
Now, you say that, do you think that we all are beyond all this and we've crossed all these levels and now we are at that stage, which you said comes after you've gone through all those stages, that you start to think that I want to do Antakarna Shuddhi and I want to have self-knowledge. You said that is the end stage, which is the ultimate. So you think we can bypass all those previous things? Do you think we are all in that phase and stage yet that we have
No. I
gone
understand.
through all those and we are now into this on this path?
Okay. I understand. No, we are not. Okay. But we are in this transition stage. Okay.
You think we are in the transition phase or we are still in the step down ladder?
Well, you have to answer that for yourself, actually. But if you ask
I
my
think,
opinion,
in my opinion, I feel that yet I really, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਬੜਾ ਉੱਚੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਲੇ ਤੇ we've not even gone through those things that we are to reach. We bypassed all those things कि नहीं ये ठीक नहीं है ये ठीक नहीं है ये ठीक नहीं है ये ठीक नहीं है. No, we just want antakarna shuddhi and we want self knowledge. You said that comes for those people who have gone through that, been there, done that, experienced that, and now they are beyond. Do you think I think we are all samsaris still.
Billu, this
How
is
do you
not
feel?
I mean,
No, we are trying to gain knowledge.
तो सुनना भी है बोलना ही रहना है.
Can we bypass that and this?
Wait now, listen. Answer this question. Are you eager to come and listen to this Gita thing?
Yeah.
Right? Were you eager to come and listen to this Gita thing 10 years ago?
No.
Okay, so what's the difference between you now?
You say that, okay, yes, we are keen to learn Gita. I do understand what you're saying, but I really feel that to say that we have bypassed, we have gone through all those stages and now we are at this stage. So what does everybody else think about it? I want to know everybody's frank opinion. Do you think that we are in that stage that we can just bypass all these things and say, okay, I am at this stage.
What things have you bypassed?
Nitu, I've not gone through anything yet. What
Then
bypass?
why are you talking about bypassing stuff? Who's asking you to bypass anything?
But right now we are just learning, right? I mean, we're just
I'm
listening.
asking you one thing. Can we just forget about those because they don't seem to be important and just concentrate on this?
Where's the water coming from there?
Is it okay to forget about that and not go through them, but come to this stage? I just want to know that answer.
Just read.
Billu, you can't see. I told you, you cannot forget about anything. You can't force yourself to do something which you don't want to do. You can't. So what we are doing right now,
I would love to be on this path, but I'm just saying, am I ripe enough yet at that stage to come to this path, or do I need to go through those initial phases, as you said,
which initial
meditation,
phases?
calm your mind, yoga to not get distracted, all those things? Do you think it is okay for us to not think about that and straight come to think, because this is the ultimate actually?
No,
Is it
see,
okay? I'm
see,
just
no,
asking
no.
from a point of view. Yeah.
हाँ हाँ मैं एक मिनट तू मेरी गाल सुन. Try to understand. Okay. So what did we talked about it earlier also, right? There are many things that we have to do. One of the things we have to do is study. We talked about study and reflection. Correct? What is study?
Yeah.
What we are doing right now is the study part of what we have to do. Correct? So what are
Yeah.
you doing? You're spending a couple of hours every 2 weeks. Maybe you're listening to other videos also once in a while. At most, you're spending an hour a day studying this stuff. You're understanding this stuff. You're trying to study to see, okay, what is somebody is telling you, what is Gita saying? Gita is saying your happiness lies in yourself. Now, do you believe it right now? Of course you don't. But you have to start somewhere. So now you're started hearing this. So let's say 1 hour a day you study. 1 hour a day or 15 minutes a day, you reflect. What did I do the course of the day? What can I do differently? What can I do better? Did I do things which have given me more dukh than sukh, that have dropped away my peace of mind? You do that. You feel personally that to you meditation will help, right? Let's say because तेन लगता है कि मेरा मन इत्थे उत्थे बहुत जांदा रहता है. Therefore, I want to do meditation. Then you do meditation. So what we are doing is you have to do all these things, and maybe it will take you next lifetime to be very happy all the way. But what you're learning here is what Bhagwan Ji is telling you, Krishna Bhagwan Ji, is that nothing, no effort is wasted. Even if you just listen to this for 2 hours and then do nothing else, it's not a waste. It has already gone into you. It has started, the seed is being sown. Over time, as more and more water is given, it will flower. So what you're doing here is you don't have to say कि जो इसमें लिखा है सब कुछ मैं कल वही कर लूंगी. That is not it. अब भगवान जी ने ये सारी बातें बताई थी अर्जुन को. वो did he think that Arjun is right away going to become a Gyani? No. But it is the starting point of Gyan. The first thing that they do is they tell you what is the teaching. It's a big process from there to fully understand and grasp the teaching and say, I believe it and it's part of me. That's the process. So nobody is saying that you are a Gyani. Nobody is saying that you are ready to be a Gyani, because nobody can say, only you can say. Nobody is saying that you don't need meditation, you don't need reflection, you don't need Karma Yoga. You need all those things. I'm pretty sure you need them, right? So you have to do all those things. What we are doing right now is just the Gyan portion, just the study portion, so that we understand what is Gita saying. If you don't even understand that, then how will you go on a journey? You're saying, I want to get started on a journey without going to the end stage, without even knowing what the end stage is, then what journey will you go on? First, you have to know what is it that you're trying to get to. So you can, in your case, you can say that, yes, the end goal may be self-knowledge, but that's too far away for me. For me, I want to make a goal which says, I want to be less angry, less anxious. That's my goal. My first step is baby step. Over the next 1 year, I want to become a more calm, less angry person. Make that your goal. Make that your eka buddhi. That's what he's saying. Make that your single objective, and see how you're proceeding towards it. At the end of the day, see whether did you do everything which helped you or didn't. That's what you have to do. That is your mission if you choose to accept it.
Below, you asked the question, how's everybody else feeling? So I will tell you how what goes on in my mind when you ask that question. For me, I am learning this knowledge. I'm trying to apply every opportunity I get, but many times I don't apply. So I go back. Sometimes I reflect. I don't even reflect every day, like we talked about last time. And I come back into it and I say, no, I need to reflect and I need to get better at this because I didn't manage that right. So I am in that stage of continual learning, trying to apply, reverting back, applying. And this is iterative process. The way I look at it, it's going to take a lot of time to get to the point of continue to learn more about yourself and then try to fix it. So that's how I view all this yet. I don't view me at any stage. I view me at the first step of gazillion steps that need to be taken.
So I'm just, what I'm saying is that is it okay for us to ignore all that and say, no, this is the ultimate truth and this. So we should not think about that, but, start our journey maybe just from here and make this our goal end and not go through what we've been taught, कि okay, मंदिर जाना है, respect करनी है, पंडित ਦਾ ਵੀ ਸੁਣਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ, ਚਾਹੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਮਲ ਕਰੋ ਨਾ ਹੋ, but can we just ignore that and say, okay, that's not important, so let me start from here, because after all, this is my ultimate goal. Is it okay? And do you think we are capable? Can we do that we forget those things, those worldly, all those things that we've been taught and brought up with, all that knowledge, can we put that aside and say, no, this is not it, ultimate तो यही है, तो हमको इधर से शुरू करना है, और तो हम वो भूल जाए, उसके बारे में मत सोचें.
Now I understand your question. It is a very good question, actually. Now that I understand it. And in fact, at the end of this chapter, this is exactly the question that Arjun asked Krishna Bhagwan. Actually, it's so funny because Arjun asked Krishna Bhagwan, he said, आप मुझे ये बता दिया, ये knowledge है, तो मैं तो संन्यास लेने लगा हूँ. He said, मेरे को नहीं लड़ना, ये क्या फायदा लड़ाई करने का? This is मायावारी बातें, ये तो लड़ाई, ये द्वंद्व में फंस रहा हूँ, मैं लड़ाइयों में फंस रहा हूँ, मेरे को जीत से क्या, मुझे इससे क्या, मैं तो संन्यास लेने लगा हूँ. मुझे बताओ, मैं संन्यास क्यों ना लूँ? अगर आपने मुझे कहा है द अल्टीमेट नॉलेज इज सेल्फ नॉलेज, देन व्हाई शुड आई नॉट जस्ट डू दैट? व्हाई डू यू वांट मी टू फाइट? आप मुझे क्यों कहते हो लड़ाई कर? राइट? इज दैट द सेम क्वेश्चन?
या,
है ना? सो यू वांट टू वेट फॉर कृष्ण भगवान आंसर? but the answer of Krishna Bhagwan was no. You have to do your job. You are not ready for that. He said there are some people who are ready. They become sannyasis early in life, and they're ready because we are looking at life from one lifespan, but they have lived previous. We've all lived previous lives, so they have paid their dues. They've done their Karma Yoga and everything else in previous lives. So by the time they're born here, because in the Karma nothing is wasted. So previous life में भी जो करा है, it's not wasted. It's accumulating. So when they are born here, they may be more ready, and they become sannyasis. They don't even ask the question. They say मैंने करना ही सन्यासी ही बनना है. Lot of people like that. They just walk away. For them, there is no doubt. But for us, for many of us who are caught up, who are in this life, what will happen now is, why this is important is because now this life, which seemed to us as a full of sorrow and all great pleasure and sorrow, all that, now this becomes our lab. It becomes a laboratory. From now on, we will be using this to hone ourselves. Every time you'll find someone is making you angry, someone is unpleasant to you, if somebody is rude to you, will be an opportunity for you to practice self-control. You will fail, but after some time you will not fail. Then you will get to a level where you might say, okay, I can become a sannyasi now. So that was Krishna Bhagwan's answer. It took him 5 chapters to get to that answer, because every time he gave the answer to Arjun, Arjun had the same question in a different way. It took him at the end, in chapter 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. In chapter 5, finally, Arjun ne kaha, no, Krishna Bhagwan, you just tell me once and for all, you just tell me what I have to do. And Krishna Bhagwan said, be a Karma Yogi. उसके बाद वो चुप हो गया.
Yeah.
Karma Yogi. Meaning there are two paths for us. One is the path of sannyas, which is what you are saying. You forget all this, जो हमको करने हैं rituals, forget it and just focus on self-knowledge. The other is the path of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means do everything that you have been doing, but do it with a different attitude now. Do it because you need it to get ready for self-knowledge. That's why you do it. So Bhagwan Krishna said Karma Yoga is better for you. I'm pretty sure if he was here, he would say the same thing to you also. My feeling. But that's what he said. And you just have some patience. Go along with this. You'll see how this thing unfolds. It's exactly like this. Because अभी तो तुमको पता ही नहीं है, तेरे को तो ये भी नहीं पता कि रियली कर्मयोग करना क्यों है. बस ये पता है, किसी ने कहा है कि उससे मेरे को सेल्फ नॉलेज, उससे मेरे को सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलेगी. क्यों मिलेगी, क्या है, ऑल दिस डिटेल इज गोइंग टू कम. This is the Gita way of teaching. They give you an overview first. सब कुछ ऊपर से पहले बता दिया. And then they go next level down, then next level down. Nothing after chapter 2, nothing really new is going to be happening in the Gita. It's just be more detail, more understanding, better understanding. Okay? So please don't give up the karmas. Don't give up the rituals. Don't go to the forest. don't go to an ashram. Okay. All right.
So I had another, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. You know how in that verse it says at the beginning, he said, even a little bit will not be wasted. And you said the reason that it won't be wasted is because all the preliminary work you've done to get there. Okay.
Right.
So Karma Yoga is a prerequisite to Gyana, right? Karma Yoga is the one that gives your mind relative Shanti so that your mind is available for knowledge.
Right.
But you're saying the prerequisite for Karma Yoga is other work.
Is the life that you've led. If you
Right.
haven't led the life and haven't experienced, you wouldn't be a Karma Yogi. You'd
Right.
still be running after only those things of life.
So the prerequisite to Karma Yoga, like for me, if I say I want to be a Karma Yogi, is the work that I have to do to become a Karma Yogi just figuring out as a human being what are my anxieties, fears, what are just like traditionally figuring out what is it that drives me, what is it that hinders me. And then, so for example, therapy would be a prerequisite to Karma Yoga.
Well, it will be not only a prerequisite to Karma Yoga, it's a part of Karma Yoga. In Karma Yoga, you will be doing everything that you can. What is the purpose of Karma Yoga? Eka Buddhi. What is your Eka Buddhi? I want peace of mind. I want a calm mind. What is your vasatmika buddhi? You'll find out all the different things that you have to do, but they are all aimed to giving you peace of mind. It's not saying that you can only do rituals. You can go to therapy. You can talk to your husband. You can go to a guru. You can talk to Carol. You can do everything that you're doing. You can talk to your boss at work. You can see everything they're doing is aimed towards this ultimate goal, which is I want to now. It's not aimed towards just making more money. It's not aimed towards I want more peace of mind. Right, so that is what Karma Yoga is. But
and I want more peace of mind. My Eka Buddhi is not Gyan. My Eka Buddhi is peace of mind so that my mind is available for Gyan.
Yes, so that is what Gita tells you, but you believe it when you get there. Okay, don't assume that my answer is self-knowledge. That's what Gita is saying. But you have to know that for yourself that your answer is self-knowledge. Right now, all you know right now is, I think, is that whatever you've been doing has not been working very successfully in terms of giving you peace of mind. That knowledge can only come if you've tried everything else in life. If you haven't even if you haven't tried those things in life, then you won't get that knowledge, and then you won't have a desire even to do a Karma Yoga, be a Karma Yogi. So
I mean, trying everything in life is, you can't try everything in life. There's limitless numbers of things you can do in life.
I tried, I came to America, I did this, I did that, I started my business, I did all that. And it's all good. It all worked very nicely. And some things didn't work nicely. But then the moment I realized, life is uncertain, I said, oh my God, if I have 10 years to go, how am I going to spend them? Right? I realized that I don't want to spend them just doing what I was doing. That's just me. I'm just saying. So we all have, this may not happen so drastically and so starkly, but this is a process which we are all undergoing. And you can see this because you can see what you are right now and your mindset and your thinking, and you can see what you were 30 years ago. Just look back. What were your objectives in life 30 years ago? What did you want out of life? What did you think would give you happiness? What is it now? Right?
Yeah.
So that journey of life, Parikshay Lokan, Karam Chittan, that journey of life gets you, prepares your mind for saying, okay, let me now try something else. Now I'll do the same things, but I'll do them with a different attitude. Let me see what that brings. If I do them with a different attitude, will I be less anxious? Will I be more successful? Will I be, will I be more peaceful? So you're asking the question, that means you're ready. You weren't asking this question 30 years ago. Billu is asking the question, she's ready. I can see she wants to, how keen she is to know what Bhagwan Krishna is saying. I spoke to her some time ago. She said, "तू असली नहीं सुनना तू की कह रहे हैं ऐसा मैं सुनना है भगवान कृष्ण की कह रहे हैं." And please, not in Sanskrit, in English. So I said, okay, in English. So that is coming from.
And also, sorry, very quickly, when that shlok said about getting beyond the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, and then getting beyond the dualities of what I like, dislike, and all of that, that is not in preparation of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga will teach you how to
Yeah.
be that, right?
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that this sort of parsing in your mind you have to do when you read the Gita, because otherwise Gita can be very, these words are
Yeah, it's
imprecise.
confusing.
Yeah, it can be confusing, they're imprecise. That's why it's important to have this overview of Vedanta, understanding of Vedanta a little bit before. Then these words will make you pakka. They'll kind of give you validation. Like, I mean, what can be more valid when he says here, for the Brahmana who knows the self, the Vedas are only as much used as a small reservoir when there is flood everywhere. I mean, क्या इससे ज़्यादा और क्या तुमको बता सकता है कि, you know, तब at that time, so Vedas is not the ultimate aim. But it doesn't mean that you have to completely disregard the Vedas. That is also not true. You'll take away the wrong message from here. So
Yeah.
that's why a guru has to teach you, so that you're not getting caught up by one statement. You have to see the whole of Gita, because आगे जाके it will also say it's very important to do some rituals in chapters 15, 16, 17. Then you'll say ये तो बड़ा confusing है. It's
Yeah.
confusing because there's nobody who's given you the overarching story on which these verses hang. These verses are hanging on a thread, and that thread has to be understood. That's why they always say, learn from a guru who has learned from a guru.
Swami Tadatmanand also went through the rituals.
Yes, absolutely. We all. So that's why I'm saying
Rituals
nobody's saying you should not go through the rituals.
shedding
Right?
the Jinnehu, shedding his hair, shedding all those things, the fire, the havans.
But see,
He went
Swami
through all
Tadatmanand was a sannyasi. At a very young age, he never had this question, should I become a sannyasi? Should I become a Karma Yogi? He just said, I know, that's what I want to be. He was in America.
after many years, Nitu, he also studied and
No, but I'm
did
saying at the age of like in his mid 30s,
Hmm.
right? He was a sannyasi already.
Acha, Nitu, one more thing I want to ask you. See, this is the verse of the Gita, right? This is the Gita as is written. There's only one Gita, and it is interpreted by different people in different way. Different Gitas. There are different shlokas in another Gita. Because I've heard that there are Gitas written by many people.
No,
And
Gita just means a song. So this is a Bhagavad Gita, the song of God. There's also like a Ram Gita. There are 8, 9 different Gitas. Gita just means
so
a song.
all of them have different verses, or is this the verse
No. They're
all
different.
over?
They're completely different.
They're different. Or
Yeah,
I
this
thought
is
they are just interpreted differently by different people.
That's what I thought.
no. The Gitas are different. There are many Gitas.
Hmm.
This is the
Written by
Bhagavad
different
Gita.
people.
Different by different people. This is called the Bhagavad Gita. Even in Ramayana, I mean, even in Mahabharata, there are 2 Gitas. There's another Gita towards the end of Mahabharata, where actually what happens is, funny story, because अर्जुन को गीता सुन सुन के भी लड़के भी उसके बाद एट द एंड ऑफ हिज लाइफ he still didn't get the message. He was still struggling. So Krishna Bhagwan got a little upset with him. He said, देखो इतना मैंने बताया, and he gave him another round, a smaller summarized version of what he had said. That is another Gita. It's not that popular because choti si hai. It's not that. This is the more popular one.
So, Nitu, this Bhagavad Gita, the shlokas are the same in everybody's
Yeah,
interpretation.
Bhagavad Gita is the same. Same
Is the
shlokas.
same.
There are 700 shlokas, all same.
All same.
But like you can see, these shlokas have to be interpreted.
Yeah.
If you read the Gita, you're not going to get it. Now, I'm giving you an interpretation from my sort of parampara, as I've been taught by Swami Dayanand's parampara. That is the classical parampara, classical interpretation of Shankaracharya. These interpretations, what I'm giving you, are directly from the commentaries of Shankaracharya. So when Swami Dayanand taught us, or he's teaching us, or Carol teaches or whatever, she's teaching from the commentaries of Adi Shankaracharya. So very classical, very like the way that it was from the time of Adi Shankaracharya.
Mhm.
But people have written commentaries on this which are different altogether. Not altogether, but in a substantial way. Like there's a guy called Madhvacharya. Now, Madhvacharya is a dualist. He has interpreted the Gita in a different way. ये जो है ना, ये आपको देखोगे आप ये कौन से हैं जो कृष्ण के वो इस्कॉन राइट.
Hare
Yeah.
Rama Krishna. Yeah.
इस्कॉन जो है that is based on Madhvacharya's teachings.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's totally different teaching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they say भगवान की पूजा करो. तुम्हारी मोक्ष
Yeah.
क्या है? भगवान की. If you get a grace of God, that is what. But
Mhm.
the most popular of all, the most prevalent, the one that has caught the imagination or the fancy of the world, really is this Advaita, Shankaracharya's interpretation
Mhm.
And this Bhagavad Gita is written by whom?
by Ved Vyas.
By Vishnu.
Is written by the guy who wrote Mahabharat. Ved Vyas wrote
Mahabharat.
Mahabharat. It's in the Mahabharat.
So it's the same. It's in the Bhagavad.
That's the Chandvyas. That's the heritage. The
So
same
this
Vyas.
was the first part of the teaching, and next time we can go into what you've all heard this. Karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Right now he goes into a different part. The only choice is in action, never in the results. Do not think of yourself as the author of the results. Let your attachment not be to inaction. So we've all, I'm sure you've heard this, right? Only worry about the actions, don't care about the results, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we'll do that next time. And then another time, we'll just finish up the rest of the chapter, maybe a couple of more sessions. And then we can take a break and move on later to chapter 3 and all that. But chapter 2 is the big one. If you get chapter 2, you really spend time on chapter 2, it'll really, it's just got a lot here in it to think about, and it'll also make it easier to understand the other chapters. Hi, Vidur. Were you listening all the time or you just came in? I didn't see you.
I've been here for like an hour.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Didn't you let me in?
I know, but I didn't see you after that. I couldn't find you.
Oh.
Suddenly you popped up.
Yeah, we didn't see you.
I saw you the whole time, Vidhi. You're all right.
Thank you.
I see you,
Thanks
Vidur. I see
Thanks for validating.
This is the multi-view here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Anything else, or we can call it a day?
Yes.
Gita, how's your curry doing?
My curry is not, hopefully it'll be okay.
After Gita, it'll be fine.
After, yes. I'm
After the
not
Gyana.
worried about how it comes. I'm just making it.
Yes, karam karo.
It's in the action.
Fal ki ichha mat karo.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, there you are, Bills.
You?
Yeah.
Right.